Have you ever looked at your cat and felt like they understand you, but you don't fully understand them? Like there's something they're trying to say, but you're missing it? Because the truth is, there are things your cat wishes you understood, things they try to tell you every single day without using a single word, and most owners never notice. You see, living with a cat creates this quiet illusion. You think you understand them because you feed them, you pet them, you share the same space. But from your cat's perspective, you're still a mystery. And sometimes, even worse, you're unpredictable. Most people think cats are independent, distant, even a little cold, but that's not actually true. Cats are deeply emotional animals. They just don't express it in ways humans expect. And that's where the misunderstanding begins. Because your cat isn't ignoring you, they're responding to you in a language you haven't learned yet. Take something simple. The way your cat slowly walks into a room, looks at you, and then just sits there. No sound, no movement, just watching. Most people assume nothing is happening, but in reality, that moment is loaded with meaning. Your cat is checking in. They're reading your body language, your energy, your tone. Cats are extremely sensitive to subtle changes in behavior, far more than most people realize. Studies in animal behavior have shown that cats can detect emotional shifts in humans, especially stress and tension, even without direct interaction. So when your cat quietly observes you, they're not being distant, they're trying to understand how you feel, and more importantly, if they're safe. Because safety for a cat is everything. It's the foundation of every behavior they have. Every place they sleep, every movement they make, every interaction with you. And here's something most people completely misunderstand. When your cat suddenly leaves while you're petting them, it doesn't mean they're annoyed with you. It doesn't mean they don't love you. It means you missed a signal. Cats communicate boundaries long before they act on them. A flick of the tail, a slight shift in posture, a change in ear position, tiny signals. But if those signals are ignored, they don't escalate emotionally. They withdraw. Because unlike humans, cats don't argue. They leave. And from your perspective, it feels random, but from theirs, it was predictable. You just didn't see it. And this is something your cat wishes you understood. They're constantly communicating, just not in ways you've been taught to notice. Now, think about something else. The slow blink. That moment when your cat looks at you and slowly closes its eyes. Most people think it's just cute, but it's much more than that. In the animal world, closing your eyes in front of another being is a risk. It means you trust them enough to be vulnerable. Research has shown that slow blinking in cats is directly linked to positive emotional states and social bonding. When your cat does this, they're not just relaxed, they're telling you something very specific. I trust you. And when you blink back, slowly, you're speaking their language. You're telling them the same thing. And this is where something subtle but powerful happens. Because every time you respond correctly, your cat feels understood. And when a cat feels understood, they become more open, more relaxed, more connected. But when they don't, they pull away. Not because they don't care, but because connection for them requires safety. And safety requires predictability. Now here's something that surprises most people. When your cat follows you from room to room, it's not just curiosity, and it's not just habit, it's attachment. Cats form strong social bonds with their owners, even if they don't show it in obvious ways. In fact, research using adapted attachment tests, similar to those used with human infants, has shown that many cats use their owners as a secure base, just like a child would. Which means when your cat follows you, they're not just being interested, they're staying close to what makes them feel safe. And here's the part most people get wrong. When your cat ignores you, that can also be trust. Because a cat that feels completely safe doesn't need to constantly monitor you. They don't need to stay alert. They can relax.
So sometimes your cat walking away is actually a sign of comfort, not rejection. Now, let's talk about something even more misunderstood. When your cat sits on you, your chest, your lap, your keyboard, most people think it's just about warmth, but warmth is only part of the story. Your body produces a steady rhythm, your heartbeat, your breathing, and for a cat, those signals are incredibly grounding. There's evidence suggesting that animals, including cats, can synchronize with human rhythms during close contact. So when your cat lies on you, they're not just resting, they're regulating, calming themselves through you, and at the same time, affecting your state too. Lowering stress, slowing your breathing, creating a shared calm. It's not random, it's connection. And this connection has been building for thousands of years. Cats may not have evolved alongside humans in the same way dogs did, but they adapted, they learned, they stayed. And over time, they formed a quiet, complex relationship with us, one that doesn't rely on commands or obedience, but on observation, sensitivity, and trust. And here's something your cat really wishes you understood. They don't need you to control them, they need you to understand them. Because every time you misread their behavior, you create distance, and every time you respond correctly, you build trust. Now, think about this. If your cat suddenly changes behavior, stops sitting with you, stops following you, stops interacting the way they used to, that's not random. Cats are creatures of patterns. When a pattern breaks, something changed. It could be stress, it could be environment, it could be health, but it's never nothing. And your cat can't tell you with words, so they tell you with absence. And sometimes what disappears says more than what appears. So the next time your cat looks at you, slowly blinks, sits close, or quietly walks away, pause for a second, because what you're seeing isn't random behavior, it's communication, it's emotion, it's a language built on trust, safety, and connection. And the more you understand it, the closer your relationship becomes. Not louder, not more obvious, but deeper. Because in your cat's world, you are either predictable or you are confusing. You are either safe or you are uncertain, and everything they do revolves around that one question: can I trust you right now? And when the answer is yes, that's when they stay. That's when they relax. That's when they choose you. Not out of habit, not out of need, but out of trust. And honestly, that's something far more meaningful than love.